guys, I am back with a completed journal flip through. At first, I didn't have a printer, so I only relied on some stationery I had and a few pens. Luckily, I got a color printer soon after. I mostly journaled about songs that I really liked and new releases that I really enjoyed. I also started this journal in the summer, so that was when all the summer bops kind of released, and I had a lot of fun just journaling about them, and especially because I had a lot of time. You can also see how my handwriting really changed and how my journaling style changed overall too. I remember that I could literally make 5 journal spreads in a row because I had that much time. I won't explain too much about what I journaled about, but I will give a little detail about just my process and how my mentality changed. At first, my style was really simple, minimal, and I think I required a lot of pictures and I didn't really use anything else. A good example of that would be this spread that I did for face. There was very little details, but there was a lot of writing and pictures. For some reason, this journal looks so much smaller on camera than it does in real life. This is one of my absolute favorite spreads even to this day. I really loved the gradient here in the lettering, and I really liked the layering style that I chose. As soon as this song came out, I knew that I had to make an amazing, eye-opening spread for it. One day, I think it'll be a really fun concept to redo this spread and see how my style changed. This is also one of my favorite journal spreads that I did because of the lettering. I think that lettering looked really good. Basically, most of this journal is about NCT, but let's just ignore that. This journal is a gridded Midori A5 journal. I actually liked it so much that I got 3 other ones. One I use for notes, one that I use for journaling, and the other one I also use for journaling. The pages are pretty thin, but they are a great texture, so if you actually want to go straight on and letter on it, it would be fine. I can't help but notice how terrible my camera work is. It keeps getting in and out of focus, but I hope it doesn't bother you guys too much. I really wanted you guys to see the full entire journal, so it might be a little long. Still, I think it's a really good thing that I could see my progression from the first page to the last page of my journal, and I'm really proud of it. In this spread, you could see how I slowly got into layering, and I'm actually really liking this one. I made this spread around the time that the song came out and around the time I went to their concert. This spread was a bit of a change for me because I usually only journal about songs. And of course, I had to make another one about it. As for the pens I'm using, I usually use Tombow dual brush pens for lettering. I think it was around this time when my style kind of changed. Can we please try to ignore the spread? I'm sorry, but it does not look good, although I love the song. I'm trying to be very honest and transparent here by keeping every single spread I did in the video. Hopefully you guys can ignore the fact that half of this journal is trash, but it's okay. I know I'm usually really self-deprecating, but I want you guys to know that you are all so talented, and whenever I see someone else's spreads, I'm like, wow, when will I ever reach that level? But the most important part is knowing that you, yourself, like what you create and you are happy with what you create. But not only do I document songs in my journal, I also document important milestones in my journal. That is why I make these kind of spreads. So this is kind of the turning point, I think, in my journaling. I tried to make it as maximalist as I could and keeping it simple but also filled. And here is the improvement. You can kind of see it's starting to show in this spread. Sadly, it was along this period of time that I took a long 6-month break from journaling. This break was mostly from school, stress, and just not having the motivation to journal. The next few spreads you guys will see are mostly spreads that I started in quarantine, so that is why I had the time to journal. I also started my journaling account when this quarantine started, and this spread was the first thing I ever posted. I've been wanting to start a journaling account for a long while, and I am really glad that I got the chance to because the community, just the motivation I've been getting from it is amazing. This spread was a mess, but I did like the lettering and the layering style. And like I mentioned before, I don't think I would have kept journaling if it wasn't for quarantine, which is why I also had to make the spread. Honestly, ever since I started, journaling has always been a way for me to relax, to show my creativity, and really to log everything that has been happening in my life. The next few spreads are all things that I have posted before. I'm really in love at how different my style was from the beginning till now because you can still see the similarities, but there's also a big difference. That's why I always say that you can improve and you'll see that improvement with keeping a journal. This is one of my favorite spreads just because of the memory. It was the very first collab that I ever had. I was so grateful to have that opportunity. And the next spread is one of the first solo collabs that I had with only a collab with one other person that wasn't a group collab. And till now, we have been really supportive of each other and we have still grown closer, I think, from doing this collab. I've made so many new friends from making my journaling account and I am really proud of that and I'm really thankful for that too. During this time, it was also when I took up way too many collabs and I would physically overextend myself by doing them, I think, even though it doesn't seem like such a big deal. This was one of the collabs that I did when I was a really small account, and during this time I also was collaborating with a very big account, and so I was a little scared, but in the end it was a lot of fun and I really loved doing it. I know a lot of people don't journal just for the fact that they don't think they have enough stationery, enough talent maybe to start one. Honestly, there are so many ways you can journal and I keep so many different journals, but this is just one of them. In my opinion, journaling only requires a pen and paper. Maybe one day I could give you guys a full tour of every single journal that I own, but that would probably be like an hour-long video. One of the hardest parts of journaling for me is finding my own style. I still don't think I've found my style yet, but looking at other accounts and other spreads really inspire me and help me find it. And for everyone else who journals, it's okay to take a break sometimes. I know it's very scary to think about, but it's one of the best things that you can do. You can truly journal about anything you'd like. Mine is just a weird mix of music, collaborations, and overall life update. It's kind of weird to see my journal because there are some spreads that are just so simple, so minimal with very little colors, but then there are a bunch with a bright rainbow of colors and a ton of pictures. This is also another dream spread that I did, and I kind of tried to pull a few elements from the other comeback spread I did for them from the Weeboom era. I think it's a great way to see the differences in my journaling and just how everything kind of changed. You can also see me struggling with the double-sided tape because I had to tape the two flaps down when I had to take my pictures. This was also around the time where my journal got so thick, and you can see it in the spread. It was harder to journal because there would always be this little bump and then I couldn't really put anything there. I also put a poll up of whether you guys prefer voiceover or captions, and most of you guys voted for, oh my god, I can't talk. I am so sorry. But yes, most of you guys voted for a voiceover, so I think it is a little easier for me to do, even though I'm still getting used to my voice. As you guys can tell, I am obsessed with the Winx Club. It really brings back a bunch of childhood memories, and I'm really happy to journal about them. I also realized that all of these spreads are collabs, but I'm always really happy to collaborate with people because it kind of motivates me to start journaling again. The hardest part of making something is always learning how to love something even if you don't like the end result. That's why I was a little nervous to film this video because I don't love every single spread I make, and it's always kind of hard to show everyone that I always mess up in my spreads, but I guess that's okay. Especially because in editing, you can always just take out all the little mistakes you made, but in video, it's a little harder for me. This is one of the most liked spreads on my account, which is kind of funny, I think, but I guess that's just the power that Lucas holds. And this journal is kind of coming to an end. As you guys can see, it's very thick. I kind of hated this spread, which is why I didn't leave it posted for long. And of course, the last final page. I'm honestly so grateful for starting a journal because it has helped me through a lot, even if it's just a journal in some people's opinions. It started my account, it started my, kind of side hobby, I guess. So yeah, I'm really encouraging anyone who doesn't have a journal to start one. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm really glad that I got to show you guys everything in this journal. And I'll see you guys next time.